reasons why I love you, and none of them rhyme. 9 times 9, 81. Bonnie and Clyde. We got high and sat by the Wellington side. I had one hell of a time. It's rock and roll.
As we've seen this erosion of our rights and freedoms with the lockdown, the subsequent levels of restriction, what would Advance New Zealand do to help protect the rights and freedoms of Kiwis who maybe feel that their rights and freedoms are not quite, their Bill of Rights has been trampled over, their freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of speech, these things are really getting to the heart of a lot of Kiwis. How would Advance New Zealand, and I think with 8 days out to the election, a lot of people, the freedom of speech, the internet censorship bill, what would Advance New Zealand be looking at doing to help protect our freedoms and rights?
This is a very concerning situation that we're in, and something big needs to happen, and we represent change, big change on this. It needs to be robustly looked at and overhauled and reviewed and changed. This is not right what's going on. We're dumbing down people. We're allowing that dumbing down to carry on, where people are too scared now to say anything. They're too scared to even tell anyone what their decision might be in voting. It's something as simple as that. So I believe we have a lot of silent voters and a lot of silent people agreeing to things but are too scared to actually voice it. It's time to stand up and be that voice, and it's the most critical time now. Is the time, and we will help you. We are there to support you. We will rewrite the government constitution that makes sense for the people, a people's constitution, a Bill of Rights that's entrenched, so it can't be overridden by other preceding or following governments in the future, that anyone who decides to have a go at doing that. Because I think what's happening right now, what I believe is happening right now, is laws and constitutions and very important documents that are the sovereignty of New Zealand have been eroded away, and almost, I think, it's disappeared into the chasms of history. And we need to think back, unless we forget our forefathers and our ancestors, from where we came from. We've all come from somewhere, and we came to this great land, and it's our paradise. My parents are Dutch immigrants, and I was New Zealand born. And my mother used to always rave on about what a paradise we lived in. They thought they were so wealthy. They had a 1/4 acre section with apples and plum trees and built a house. My dad was a builder, and he was a good businessman. And they taught me, they brought me up to be tolerant. And so we were brought up in a fairly predominantly Māori community. And so my father had a lot to do with the missions in the Pacific Islands. I grew up around the Pacific Island communities in Mangere, and we used to have festivities every year as I was growing up, because he was involved in missionary work. And so we did a lot of things, and we were community-orientated people. And we blended in with all the Kiwis in our street. We were the only foreigners in our road. And I know what it was like to be probably, could I say, biased against, because my parents were foreign speaking. So all these things collectively come together to bring me to understand a lot of people, where they come from, who don't understand our language, and that we're all one people. And I thank my parents for that, and I thank them for bringing me to NZ, because I'm just so in love with our country, and I don't want to lose the rights. I don't want my children or my grandchildren to lose the rights to roam around free in this country and have clean soil, air and water to grow produce and to survive. Our very survival hinges on looking after our environment. So all this comes under the Bill of Rights, and everything needs a complete review and overhaul, quite honestly, and a reset of what's been going on and why, and searching for the accountability and putting that right, and holding referendums that are for the people, that are binding, and they're sensible and they're well worded. Again, back to the quality of the word, that when we're holding referendums, that they're well thought out, they're robust, we understand what they mean, we look at all the pros and cons, so we can make a clear, intelligent, robust decision on all the important things that matter to us. We are intelligent, well educated, and not if we're well educated, even if we don't have an educated, we have the smarts. We are streetwise, we are land-wise, we have so many different dynamics of people that matter Everybody matters, and they matter to me, and I am going to be your voice in that regard. So yeah,
that's great.
that's it for there right now. Otherwise I'll rave on.
No, that was really good. And I think, a lot of Kiwis and New Zealanders are resonating with that, having the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in a position where it cannot be legislated away, where it actually has meaning and as a solid document for us to work off. And during this, the election campaign and the lockdowns, I've noticed that really no other parties have been talking about that baseline of our rights and freedoms as free sovereign beings. Without that, a lot of other building policies and a foundation without that is not a wise thing. So that's one thing that I really like about the Advance New Zealand Party, is that that foundational protection of freedoms and rights as individual, as a sovereign nation. I've worn my outdoors shirt today, my green one, and I know you're passionate about outdoor activities. Could you speak a little, Ange, about the Advanced New Zealand Party's position on 1080, the dropping of poison throughout our beautiful, God's own country, our land? I think it's
Yep.
A lot of people.
Well, I'll say it very simply.
Yeah.
No. Simple. No. Ban it. We have to honestly start looking and implementing as soon as we can robust, proven alternative solutions to this. That has got to stop. I am tired and sick of these programs rolling out without our acknowledgement, under skullduggery, kind of hidden during nights and mornings, spraying or whatever they're doing, without anyone knowing, acknowledging. It's rude, it's disrespectful, and it's against our human survival rights. This takes away the ability to grow trees and fruit for our survival as a human race. Stop it. That's it.
Yeah. Well said. So it is a policy of Advanced New Zealand that the 1080 will be.
Yes, it is. Sorry, it's in my folder. We're going to repeal it simply, and I have it here somewhere. I don't know if it's a policy or it's a position. Yeah. Sorry, bear with me.
That's all right.
It could be a position. We've got something in the agricultural policy, and it will be in there. And if I may just quickly have a quick look, because I don't want to take up too much time. It's a real bugbear for so many people of the land and all of NZ. I'm sorry, I'm not 100%, but we're going to be looking at that.
Just while Angie's doing some extra research, how can people, if they want to support Advance New Zealand, what are the best ways for them to? People can vote now. How can
people vote now? Get into the polling booth, vote, party vote, Advance NZ. Get in there and get your electoral, wherever what electorate you're in. You vote for your candidate for Advance NZ. So it's tick, party vote, Advance NZ, tick, candidate vote. If you're in Bay of Plenty, vote for me, Angela Moncur. It's so simple. 2 ticks and you're done.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome.